Do you like my cat ears? Boop, boop. They light up. You want to see? Okay, hold on. What the? I think it's out of battery or something. That was anticlimactic. Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, is more for me than anyone else. And it's because I recently just turned 20 a few weeks ago, and I'm at that age, like that critical age, I guess, where my parents are now, really getting serious about finding some proposals and stuff. It's kind of really stressful because now I'm learning how to cook Pakistani food, and I really want to make biryani, but my mom won't let me make biryani until I master dal chawal. And this age where I'm like almost done with my education and it's getting kind of like serious, like going into that new phase in life, I guess. And to be honest, it could be like really overwhelming and stressful thinking about it. So I thought it was the perfect time to make a video like this, because I know a lot of people have this kind of like fear or uncertainty when it comes to marriage, and I do as well. Because like once I make a video and I put it out there, like telling people advice or something good, then it makes me even more determined to like make sure that I follow it, because may Allah protect us all from hypocrisy and stuff, but I try to like stay true to what I tell other people. Inshallah, I hope this definitely helps. Obviously, living in places like America, and even like other places nowadays, even in Muslim countries, it is virtually impossible to not be in any kind of contact with the opposite gender. And a lot of times where it's normal to, talk freely and openly to other people, it's kind of difficult, like, okay, so what am I supposed to do about it because of my, Islamic rules and stuff like that. So when I was younger, it's actually kind of funny, embarrassing, but it's also funny, that I used to be like paranoid when it came to talking to guys, like literally, because like I was like brought up in that kind of environment, and I was like always taught you shouldn't talk to boys and stuff like that because it's haram. And so like in middle school, I remember when I would sit next to, or be put next to rather, a boy like by my teacher or like a group project or something, I would like freak out internally, and I would like ask to like move my seat or something because I didn't want to be so close to another boy. And then in high school too, like I got a bit better, but like we just talk about school related stuff. I'd never really go up to a guy and like talk about life and like other things like that are unnecessary really. But it was just really funny because sometimes I'd be walking in the hallways, and if I accidentally bump into some boy or something, I would freak out so much in my mind. Like I would literally like be like astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah throughout the way to my class, and like the whole day I wouldn't stop thinking about it, and I'd like probably pray tawbah or something. And now, like, of course there are some times where you're in a group project or something and you have no choice, but you need to have like people's numbers, or if you're a part of a club, then I'd get their numbers, or we'd exchange numbers. We'd only specifically talk about that school project or whatever presentation, and then after the class is over or something, I delete their numbers. That's what I usually do. Like I don't have numbers of any guys or something except for like cousins and family members. To be honest though, personally, I really wasn't that eager to start thinking about marriage until very recently, because it's kind of scary to me, like transitioning to adulthood, being independent when life pre-marriage and stuff is so different when you're in your own house. Like it's just so crazy thinking about like I'm no longer a teenager anymore, and it does get really overwhelming. So like I always, in my heart, I always remind myself that Allah knows what's best for you. You should always have trust in him, because you might think someone is perfect for you, but maybe they change, or maybe they're not what you thought that they were. And really it makes no sense giving your heart to someone who you're not meant to be with, because you're just gonna get hurt along the way. Because let me tell you something, I don't understand, like, why would someone be in a haram relationship when Allah has a halal one written for you, right? Like, everything is supposed to work out in the end, inshallah, so why are you trying to deliberately mess things up for yourself? Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to be heartbroken, you're the one who's going to regret your decision. And if you just like stuck with Allah's plan for you and just was patient, it would have all worked out in the end without all that drama in between. And I know it's easier said than done, because there are some moments where if I have too much time, I start overthinking about it, like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to find this kind of guy and this and that. And it is something that people worry about, and that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we can't help it, but you shouldn't forget that Allah is going to take care of you. You shouldn't forget that He knows what's best for you, and inshallah, like, it doesn't matter if the person that you're supposed to be with is like on the other side of the world. If he or she is meant for you, there is no force in this world that can keep you from them. And if someone is not meant for you, then there's nothing you could do to, have them. It goes both ways. So in the beginning, you just like keep yourself and prevent yourself away from getting really emotionally involved with someone that you're not sure you're gonna actually end up with. Then inshallah, you will avoid all these crazy, problems later on in the future, inshallah. Okay, I'm also kind of like different because I don't know why, like, I'm just very, very shy when it comes to thinking about marriage. Okay, I can't. Because I mean, okay, yeah, we all have like our ideals, but for me, like, saying it to people, I just feel really embarrassed. I don't know, there's nothing wrong with it, and you should make dua for like a good spouse and stuff, and I do, but I don't like explicitly, list off, oh Allah, give me a husband that's this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just say, oh Allah, you know what's in my heart more than I know what I want, and what's in my heart. So if the kind of person that I would like is best for me, then allow me to have it. And if they are not, then turn my heart in the direction and the pathway that you have chosen for me, that you have decreed for me, and allow me to be fully satisfied and happy with it and have that trust in you. So, with that, it's always a win-win situation. One of the other big issues surrounding social media, it's kind of messing up marital standards and expectations, because guys see all these really pretty Muslim girls, or not non-Muslim girls even, or these hijabis and stuff, and they're like, oh, I want my wife to look like that, oh, I want my wife to be this way, I want my wife to dress this way. And it's so bad because, number one, there's so many filters and editing that goes into it, and even if there isn't, what you see on social media is not really how it is in real life, and it kind of skews their whole views about it. And the same way with girls, they see guys on social media, oh, he has to, he has to have abs, or he has to have big muscles, or he has to be like super tall. And yes, we are allowed to have these kinds of wants, and it's like human nature to want that, but we end up ignoring what really matters, like the things that truly make up a marriage. Because remember, guys, marriage is a compromise on both ends. It's not just the girl who has to compromise, and it's not just the boy who has to compromise. Effort has to be put in both ways, right? And it always like makes me so sad how people end up fighting so much, or they lose that kind of connection with them, because marriage is a kind of relationship that compassion and understanding is so crucial, open communication and stuff. And you really need to be consistent with it and not have double standards. For example, like, I've heard a lot of girls nowadays, they want their husband to, help around with household chores and stuff, which is sunnah, and that's amazing, but then they won't really put in effort themselves, and they'll like take advantage of it. Or maybe guys who say that, oh yeah, you should respect women and stuff, or like, I want a really modest girl, but then themselves are posting shirtless pictures or something like that, you know what I mean? So you have to make sure that what you're saying is, again, practice what you preach, right? And that you're not doing the same things that you don't want in your spouse. Also, guys have like this thing where, oh, the girls, the husband has these rights over the wife in Islam, which is true, but they shouldn't like force anything or take advantage of it, because once it comes to that, like forcing them instead of advising them, at that point the wife is not a wife, they're a slave, whether you like it or not, that's what it is. And you shouldn't treat people like that. Like, obviously all women in Islam, not just a wife, deserve respect. It's the way that a guy treats their family members, the people in their life before marriage and stuff. really reflects the way that they're going to treat their wife after marriage. Same thing goes for girls. Like, you should be respectful towards your husband, have that respect, and make sure that, you know, you do everything you can to fulfill your responsibilities. But at that same time, you know, both of you put in effort, both of you try to understand each other and make compromises here and there. So, you know, stick closely to the sunnah, because that's the best example to follow. And then there's also like the parental pressures. Oh, you should marry someone within your nationality. A Pakistani has to marry Pakistani. They can't marry a Bengali. A Syrian cannot marry an Egyptian, or something like that, which makes no sense, because honestly, it's just about priorities. Like, what's more important, keeping your nationality or keeping your deen, right? Do you want your future generations until the day of judgment to stay upon that pure, let's say, Pakistani nationality, or do you want your future generations until the day of judgment to stay upon our religion of Islam, right? So it is really, really crucial to think about. Just because someone is the same race as you, it doesn't mean that they are good people, right? They are good Muslims. Back in the day, in the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when people would send proposals, the main thing that they would look at is like, okay, who knows more Quran, like that, who is most knowledgeable in Islam. And I wish we could go back to those simple days, but you know, times change, but we should really stick to, or try our best to stick to, those values, inshallah. Have you guys ever seen those posts online where it's like halal Muslim pickup lines, except it's so ironic because it's not halal, it's haram? Okay, so guys, don't go out flirting and like using these stuff that you find. Okay, don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, some of them are actually kind of funny, but then there is like other ones that are so bad. Like, for example, oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Where the guy is supposed to go, hey girl, are you Fajr? Because I miss you every day. And I'm just like, oh my Allah, you did not just say that. Listen to me. If a guy or a girl cannot commit into their relationship with Allah, what makes you think they're going to commit into a relationship with you? Just saying. Another important thing is to make sure that you're surrounding people with people who are God-fearing, right? People who will keep you on the right track, who will make sure you stay in your limits, and who are always going to be there for you and help you throughout the way. So that could be family members, that could be your parents, that could be siblings, maybe you're close to, your friends. In my case, it's my best friends. They both help me along the way. They both always, you know, constantly, all three of us constantly remind each other of having that faith in Allah and just being patient and making dua for each other, of course. We all want to be happy. We all have those same kind of virtues and ideals that we want in a partner, and you know, we're all making sure that we stay upon the right path and, you know, the modest way in Islam and stuff. And also, one really important thing is that, guys, don't do anything behind your parents' back. If it's something that you're not comfortable in sharing with your mom or your dad, then it's probably something wrong, right? If it's something you know, not haram, then you won't have any problem going to your parents and telling them about it. Like, you should say, listen, I'm interested in so and so person, we're talking, I just want you to know, or like get their permission before meeting with them. Because if you're really like serious about like marriage and stuff, you're not just doing it for dating or the heck of it, then you know, you're doing it for actual, like, looking for a spouse, a potential spouse, then yes, it's important to make sure you talk and meet with them, but just as long as your parents are aware and you're not doing it in secret. Also, if you think that your parents are too strict and they won't like it, even if you're not doing something haram, then maybe you should like stay away from it and avoid it, or maybe talk to someone like a teacher or someone that your parents really look up to, like a Quran teacher or someone at the masjid or even your imam, and like do it with a parent present or something like that, so that they're more comfortable, because you don't want to do something to upset your parents. So you have to like be very careful, you know, your own family background and stuff, and do something that will cause the least amount of tensions and pressures upon you. And for me, the most important thing is, honestly, I could compromise upon anything. The one thing that I cannot compromise in a relationship is anger. I cannot have a guy who gets angry really easily, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm like super sensitive. I cry so easily, especially if it's someone that I love or is close to me. Honestly, if my husband were to just like look at me and like just angrily just look at me, it'd probably be enough to make me cry. I know that's a bit extreme, but I'm just telling you that's how I am, and I know I have to work on that, but I'm just saying, like, I know what I can and I cannot bear. So talking about things like this is very important, and it should, like, you should make sure that you are compatible, like your personalities click, you understand each other, your viewpoints upon Islam and other stuff coincide, and then you can start thinking about like the superficial stuff. We should all try to be more open-minded. I feel we should all have like a greater communication, not just with the person you're potentially marrying, but also with your parents, with other people, even with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You know, is what you are thinking and what you want really practical? Are you being unfair? Are you actually putting in the effort to change yourself for the better? The biggest priority I feel is someone you should marry that will make you a better Muslim, that throughout that with your relationship and your love you become closer to Allah, and you know, your love for Allah and Islam increases as well. Because I don't know, I just think it is the cutest thing ever. Like, just imagine like you with your husband or your wife, you know, reading Surah Kahf on Fridays together, or you know, going to Jummah prayer together, or like Ramadan, oh my gosh, like volunteering at the masjid together, or teaching kids Quran together. Oh my gosh, it's literally the cutest thing ever, and inshallah one day. And do everything with a pure intention again, and yeah, just have that faith in Allah, and everything will turn out for the best in the end. I pray to Allah that those of you who are watching who are single, going through some of the things that I'm going through, may He put that ease, comfort, peace, trust, and faith in your hearts, and allow you to have the kind of spouse that you wish for if it is best for you. And if not, then may He give you a spouse that will keep you happy. And for those of you who are already married, may Allah bless your marriage and give you more happiness. Ameen. Please remember me in your duas. Remember my family in your duas, my loved ones in your duas. I hope everything I said made sense. There's just so many things going in my mind right now. I hope I covered everything. I think that's it. If I end up, you know, thinking of other stuff, maybe I make a part 2. I don't know. But I hope this put some kind of ease in your heart. And I hope this helped. So jazakallah khair for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Why can't I stop blushing?